Welcome, Rocket Nation. This is our first coaches show. I want to welcome Coach Thompson, new Rocket head coach. Proud that he's here with us. This is our pregame show. It's going to kind of take the place of the Thursday podcast, so check us out every Thursday. We'll promo it on Twitter. We'll promo it on Facebook, a lot of other social media, as well as it'll be available on YouTube. Coach Thompson, first of all, I want to welcome you and thank you for doing this, and I want to also give you my prayers for your family. I know you lost your grandfather, Ed Williams, this week. That's a tough time. It's an exciting time for you, but that's a tough time to have something like this affect your family.
Yeah, definitely. Anytime you lose someone that's really close, it's tough. But the same for Lathan Easley, who lost his grandfather actually the night or day before I lost mine. You know, our thoughts and prayers are with him as well. So, you know, it's tough, but you know, you want to continue to do the things that you do and make sure you're accountable to the people that you should be accountable to, because I mean that's what they would want. They don't want life to stop. Right. You know, they want you to continue and be strong.
Absolutely, and I know Ed was proud of you.
Oh, definitely. He started calling me coach. So the last few months they called me coach. So I liked it.
And you know, you are the first Rocket to coach the Rockets, to be the head coach of the Rockets. It's the first homegrown guy, man.
Yeah. You know, that's special to me. I tell the story all the time. Rocket football brought me to Crittenden County 3 times. It's something that's very near and dear to my heart, and I'm going to give it everything I have because I do love it.
Yeah, it shows in practice, and it shows in all the preparation that I've been observing since you took over, and even before that. You know, I don't want to put you on ice here or get you any more nervous than maybe you are, but do you know that new coaches struggle at Crittenden County? Andy Hunt, my right-hand man who goes back and digs up the most obscure stuff, has found that first coaches in their opener are 2-11 at Crittenden County High School. Now, that's not really good odds, but I feel pretty good about us, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a little bit. Now, granted, a lot of those were against Caldwell County, too. Coach Starnes put an end to that. But, you know, Pat Gates is the last new coach to come in and win, and he beat McLean County in 1983. So there's your trivia question.
Well, I mean, for me, I'm not even thinking about the, first game, record, any of that. That doesn't... all I want to do each week is go out and put the best product we can on the field. So for me, I want to go out against Stewart County this week, and I want to attack them from the jump. And I want to see the kids be tough. And at the end of the night, I think if we do that, we'll be okay.
Speaking of trivia questions, each week we're going to have a trivia question, and this time.
I feel like you set me up.
I didn't set you up. I promise you. The trivia question this week. No, the answer is not going to be Sean Thompson, okay, even though he does have, his name appears quite often in the record book. But what we're looking for is the longest pass for a touchdown in Crittenden County high school history. Now, I'll give you a hint. It's in the high school KHSAA record book. It's tied for the longest touchdown, and it's in the record book. But if you can be the first person to go to H&H Supply in Marion, across from Liberty Fuels, you can be the first person to go down there this week and tell them who the quarterback was and who the receiver was. You're going to win 18 holes of golf down at Deer Lakes Golf Course. So that 18 holes includes a cart. So that's our trivia question for this week. Go down to H&H Supply here in Marion, Kentucky on South Main Street and tell them who had that touchdown, who threw it, and who caught it. It's the longest pass in Crittenden County high school history. Okay, Sean, let's get right into it. We want to talk a little bit about the Fort Campbell scrimmage. You guys really look good down there, I thought at times. And maybe if you want to interject a little bit about the Grays. Just overall, what have you seen in those 2 outings? Grays was more of a controlled scrimmage, but in Fort Campbell we outscored them 21-13. What did you see?
For me, in the past, under Coach Starnes, the past few years that I've been here, we've been a team that starts fast. I didn't see that in either one of our scrimmages this year, and that's concerning to me because we're a very talented team. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know what is happening, but we're not starting as fast as I'd like. And a lot of that comes to it's a scrimmage. The intensity level and warm ups is not where it should be. It's not game like. That feeling's not there. So that could be the case, or it just be something that we need to fix, and it is a problem. But I hope that's not the case. In the past, we've been a team that doesn't finish, but we've showed in both scrimmage that we can finish strong and we can turn it on, and it's there. I think against both teams we showed we can move the ball. And Graves is a 5A power in Western Kentucky. That's what we wanted. We wanted a big school to come in and see if they smack us in the mouth and we could respond, and they did that. So that's a positive that I take from that one. And then Fort Campbell, we were very sloppy, and the clock is running real fast and it's going quick, and it's made it seem a little worse than it was. But we challenged them at the little intermission and they responded, and that was the best game-like quarter of football.
In the third quarter, the effective third quarter in the scrimmage game. Yeah, the first two quarters were 12-minute running clocks, I believe, and it goes by.
Yeah, it's hardly any football. So.
It's like going back to third and fourth grade Little League.
Yeah, and we wanted to do that, so both of us were concerned about getting through the scrimmage healthy, making sure that we didn't create a bunch of opportunities for injuries to happen. So that's why we went with the running clock in the first half.
As you said, you were down 1, I think, at the half, and came back and won the scrimmage, and or down a touchdown.
Down a touchdown. 13-7.
Yeah, 13-7 at the break, and then you came back and played a real down and distance, real clock, and really got after him. Talk a little bit. I've got some footage I'm going to show on the touchdowns. Tyler Boone caught a touchdown pass from Hunter, and then Ethan Dawsett caught a touchdown pass from Hunter Boone, and Devin Nesbitt scored on a rushing touchdown. Talk a little bit about each one of those, if you would.
The first one was Boone to Boone. We've waited a long time to see that. They played for a year now. We've seen them have a completion to each other, but a touchdown, I think that's the first one. It's a screen. I'm big on screens. That's an extension of our running game. Oftentimes, people, I think I like to pass the ball a lot, but a screen, to me, that's an extension of the running game. Your line is out in front blocking. You're getting the ball out quick to athletes in space, and Tyler, he takes a 0-yard completion and turns it into 51 yards. So
it goes all the way across the field.
Yeah, across the field, and I think him and Riley Goldman, our left tackle, run into each other as hard as hit of the scrimmage, and we still score. So. Tyler's going to be big for us on offense as much as he is on defense this year. He brings another dimension to our offense and another level that teams have to prepare for with the things that he can do as far as being a stand-up guy or a tight end.
Is keeping him fresh concern?
We'll be able to do that because with personnel packages, we'll be able to rest him at times. But we want him to be full go on defense. That kid flies around and plays sideline to sideline. He's the heart of our defense as far as being in the middle of it.
The next touchdown was to Ethan Dawsett, and I think you had an opportunity to try to get Ethan the ball earlier, and didn't do it, and then you got this one.
Yeah, the thing about that I take away from that is, Hunter missed. It wasn't a well thrown ball as far as placement. I've explained before that quarterbacks don't throw perfect balls. Receivers make the ball perfect. Hunter missed inside, gave the defense an opportunity to make a play. But when Dawsett has a ball coming his way, his mindset is it's mine regardless. He finds a way, and that's what he did on that play. He jumps, he uses his body to prevent the defender from having a chance at the ball, and then he makes a catch on the back of his shoulder and pulls it in. He surprises me every day. His skill set grows. He's a hard worker. He wants to learn something new every day. He wants to try something new every day. He doesn't want to sit back and be satisfied with what people think he is or isn't. And his thing every day is I'm going to work and I'm going to be better, and I'm going to make sure that every time I get an opportunity that it's going to pay off. So that play, it just goes to show how hard he works. So
guys like that make coaching easy, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. And for him, having so many receivers this year, that's going to allow him to still be able to do the things he does, and that's big for us offensively.
And I've said this before. I wrote a little bit about it in the article that comes out in the paper this week, the preview of the season. But Devin Nesbitt, such an explosive guy, player of the year 2 years ago in the district. But he kind of gets lost in the conversation sometimes. But he's a weapon, and he scored over there at Fort Campbell.
Yeah, he got in the end zone, a little short 3 or 4 yard run that honestly, if we're backed up on our 3 or 4, that he probably would have went the distance, because when he puts his foot in the ground and gets vertical, there's not many people that are going to catch him. We want to find as many ways to get him the ball as possible, because we know anytime he touches the ball that it can be an explosive play, it can be a touchdown. He had 24 of those a year ago, which rushing and then 1 receiving, so 25 total. That's a lot of touchdowns.
He's chasing the record in touchdowns for a career, and good for him. Devin's a super guy. Let's talk a little bit about Stewart County now. We go down to Tennessee last year, first time we've ever played Stewart County. We go down there, we beat them 62-27. They took the opening kickoff and just marched down the field. We thought, wow, man, we're going to have a hard time handling them, and then boom, just flipped it.
Yeah, and with us, offensively, if we can get going fast and early and protect the ball, we can be explosive and we can score fast and we can put pressure on team. Where we need to make sure that we come out against Stewart is making sure that we match their physicality from the jump, from the opening kickoff. We want to match their physicality, because last year they came out and they ran the ball down our throats, and that's not saying it doesn't feel good. We responded a year ago, but if we don't want to put ourselves in that situation again. So we want to make sure that we come out from the jump and we flex our muscles instead of allowing them to push us around. And I think we'll do that.
As you said, in the 2 scrimmage, Gray scored right off the bat, and Fort Campbell scored right off the bat. But we did. We in years past, maybe some teams that didn't have as much success might lay down right there.
Yeah.
But these guys, man,
it's all about how you respond. It's all about how you respond.
They know they can get on track and they can score a lot of points in a hurry. I think the Rebels. Stewart County will probably be a little better prepared. They little more.
Well, they know
what what it's about.
They know us now. They've seen us. They played against us. They understand we're not just a Class A school. I think you get lost in it's a Class A school out of Kentucky. I believe they're a 3A school in Tennessee, so they're a bigger school than us. But I think they know that our football is good. Our Class A football in Kentucky is good, and I don't think that they'll be surprised by us this year. So we're gonna have to come out and, like I said, master physicality and come to play.
What is the preview? What's the outlook for Stewart County this year? I know they won 1 game. I haven't seen a whole lot about them. I did go back and read up a little bit on something I found online, but there's not a lot of information out there about them. I assume their personnel hadn't changed a whole lot.
Yeah, they lost a few guys to graduation, but last year they lined up in a power I and came straight at us. This year we got their film, and they're more in a double wing type offense, running some option type stuff, which is difficult in itself. It's kind of like what Russellville did in the past. They just don't have those kind of athletes. And I'm not saying that they don't have athletes. They do have athletes. They have one kid, number 4, who plays running back for them, that can go the distance any play he touches the ball. But they do it more coming downhill, dive. Running some midline, they run some option, but a lot of what they do is downhill right now, make you make a decision fast. So you have to be prepared for that.
Because we don't see a lot of that around here.
Especially now with Russellville going to the spread, I don't know that we'll see it at all.
Right. Also, this year, I wanted to make sure everybody knows that we have our sponsors for our program. Whitetail Properties is our primary sponsor, and then we have other partners that are part of this program and helping us put it on each week. Riley Tool Machine, YTG Insurance, First United Bank, Farmers Bank and Trust of Marion, Deer Lakes Golf Course, Par 4 Plastics, Health Quest Wellness Center, your team doctor there, Dr. Johnny, and also Johnson's Furniture. And Patty over Johnson's Furniture has 3 of these mugs for the first 3 Rocket fans that show up this week and say they saw it on the program. So not too bad. Tell your wife, go by and get one.
Yeah, does it count if I go?
Just want to make that announcement. All right, now let's talk a little bit, Sean, about the team itself, about who we have returning, about what you expect, and we're going to kind of break this down into skilled players, linemen, linebackers, and secondary. So we talked about some of the skilled players, And if you want to hit on those guys a little bit more, that's fine. But tell us about your skilled players.
We return. I got a bunch of guys who are experienced now. We're older, a year older now. And, we have Peyton Riley, who'll start outside, 6'3", hands. I've told you in the past, hands. I mean, he's sure-handed. He's going to catch most everything that you throw his way. You got Brandon Lamey, who is a scat back type receiver, that I can use in jets, and he's a guy that can make big plays, and he's sure-handed most often as well. You got Tyler Boone, we talked about, playing tight end, come in and play receiver as well. You got Caden McAllister is coming back from a year ago, more experience, and he's a tough, hard-nosed kid that plays receiver but also plays fullback for us when we go to our two-back sets. And my thing with him is I know that I'm going to get a yard. If I need a yard,
he'll get it for you.
Get it, yeah, no matter what, he's going to give me a
Xander
yard. Xander Tabor comes in and he can play that F spot, and he's a very talented runner. He's our most elusive player that we have on our roster. He's nice, and I think that he's going to surprise a lot of people this year. He's a guy that we're going to see a lot.
Well, you've really been high on him in preseason.
Yeah, I like X-Man. He's he's a quiet kid, and once you figure out that he's not, he's just quiet. Once you figure that out, he's going to show up. He's going to play. I mean, he's getting these opportunities and making the best of them. The big one we pick up, Preston Turley this year. 6'4", so that puts us at 6'3" and 6'4" on the outside. So talk about matchup nightmares. There's no doubling any of our receivers, because all across the board we can make a play, and we can, with personnels, create matchups ourselves. So Preston coming out, it's the first time that I've felt comfortable putting 4 receivers on the field at the same time, and knowing that all the way across the board that we can make a play.
No decoys.
Yeah, there's no decoy in this. I mean, every one of our guys we can go to, and we got guys coming off the bench that may not start. Travis Guest is a guy who can come out and play receiver. He started out playing in the backfield, and he's moved out wide because technically, as a technician, he is very sound.
He's an incredible athlete.
Travis
a guy that he gets on the rings and
American Ninja Warrior.
Absolutely.
We're gonna see him one day.
Strong.
Yeah, very strong.
Upper body strength.
And he has only played football. This is his 3rd year playing football, or 4th year playing football, counting middle school through high school. He's a junior now. So the learning curve was there for him, and he's picking it up more and more each day. So I mean, we'll baby step him, but he's a guy that we can see on the field this year, and he'll help us out. We also have Lathan Easley that we bring in offensively, who is a downhill. Against Stewart County last year, he broke off a big run. I didn't know he had that kind of speed in him. But I know he's downhill. He's a hard-nosed, tough runner. We have sets where we're going to bring him in. And then the one that we get back from last year is Gavin Dickerson. We're going to use him in multiple roles. He's a guy that you'll see at fullback. He's a guy that you'll see at F, what Nesbitt plays, is a single back guy. We're going to use him in a 2 tight end set. You're going to see him all the way out wide, just based off personnel and our ability to move him around and his intelligence as a football player. We can put him in different places, and that creates matchups as well. So offensively, as far as these are varsity guys. Skill-wise, I mean, that's a lot of guys to be able to play with at a Class A school that you're going to see on a Friday night. So that's a big thing. 2 young guys that have really stood out to me in the preseason is Logan Bailey and Chase Stevens. Chase, they got a freshman and a sophomore. Chase came out last year, and I got swimming kind of got in the way as far as his learning curve. I think he got frustrated with it. But he came back this year and has been committed to it, and I'm telling you, the boy can play offensively and defense. It's there. He's young, and it's in him to be a player, and I'm so happy to have him back, And then Logan Bailey, it's his 2nd year playing football. He's a freshman. He came to us from Alabama, and he's
pretty good hands.
He's got good hands, and he's a quick learner, for not having that football background. He's a very, very good receiver.
Let's talk a little bit about the lineman. It starts in the middle with Brock Langston, and we're going to have Brock on in just a little bit to close out the show. And I think our viewers will get a kick out of Brock. He's quite a character, isn't he?
Yeah, Brock. He's our he's our swag, or swagger. Brock, he sets the tone with his enthusiasm. Sometimes you may not be in the mood to hear it, but he doesn't care. He's being him. He's genuine. That's him, and that kind of genuineness rubs off on other people, and I love it. I love his attitude, his mentality. And he's that guy that sets the tone on our line. He's
pretty good ball player too.
Yeah, he can play. He starts every play. So in my mind, that makes him the most important player on our offense on any given play, because if we can't get the snap, we can't. It doesn't matter how many athletes we have to put on the field. So he's very important, and he's right there in the center of it all.
In the Graves County one-on-one segment, he really did well against all those very physical guys.
Yes, and Brock, his ability to win those one-on-ones against Graves County is because of the summer he had, the time he put in, going to all these college camps and doing one-on-ones with these kids trying to get recruited. Yeah. And I went and saw him at two different places. I saw him at the Combine, and I saw him at Lindsey Wilson. And when it came to one-on-ones, I saw him lose maybe twice out of the two events. I mean, it's nice to have a kid who just wants to go and compete.
Yeah. Let's go down the line. Let's go ahead and get the rest of the linemen in.
So we're returning 4 starters, including Brock. Our guards, you got Ian Ellington, who is a technician. He's undersized. He's nasty and doesn't care that he's undersized. You're going to see he gets under people's skin because he just goes after you. He's going to let you know he's there. And I love that mentality. Yeah. He's not going to talk about it. There's nothing to say. He's going to show you. And it's rubbed off on Porter, Devin Porter, our other guard. They're both technically undersized, and Porter didn't like that. Freshman Ian Ellington was a little nastier than him in the past, and Porter's picked it up. And as far as improvement right now, biggest improvement on our line is Devin Porter. He's becoming a leader on our line. It's just the intensity and the belief that he plays with now. And for me, that's huge. Mm-hmm. That's huge. The growth I've seen in him is amazing, and that's big for us. So then you go outside to Jake Gibson, the 4th returning starter that we have. He plays right tackle for us. Mm-hmm. He worked hard this offseason. You can tell he's in shape. He trimmed up a little bit, but he's undersized too. But it's a good undersized. He's got a nice body. He can move. He's our guy. He understands the offense. He understands what they're supposed to do. He understands the boxes that we end up with as far as defensive fronts and alignments.
Smart player.
He's a smart player, so he can get everybody where they need to be.
Aaron Berry really talks about how he uses his body wisely.
Yeah. And that's the thing. All 4 of those guys are smart.
Yeah. So looking on the other side of the line at tackle, who's over on the left side?
We have actually a competition going on for that position right now. Right now, Riley Gobin's the front runner. He's shown us through the scrimmages that he's a guy that fills that role nicely. But Kennis is still right there in the mix, and Dylan Yates is right there, freshman, right there in the mix. And all 3 of those guys have shown that they can do it. And it's just the guy who can do it most consistently is going to be the guy that we go with the most. We feel comfortable putting all 3 of them in at any time.
A lot of depth on this team.
Yeah, definitely, and that's the biggest difference that people will see from teams in the past. We're going to be able to play with more kids every night, so we have more options, And then 2 other freshman linemen that have stepped up big times, Coleman Stone and Tucker Sharp. Both of them have impressed, especially Coach Berry. I mean, he loves them.
I know another freshman sure wishes he was in the mix too.
Yeah. That center, and that's what Tucker Sharp. The big thing with him was his willingness to move, switch positions when Ben went down.
Benjamin, my son, broke his foot.
Yeah. So when he was able to do that, and he has that dog in him, that was huge for us as far as filling a void.
On your defensive ends, let's talk a little bit about them. Sean O'Leary comes back. He's a force on one side. And who are you looking at on the other?
Right now you have a battle still going there. We got 2 guys that we're looking at, Riley Gobin being one, and Preston Turley coming back, and playing down there, playing receiver on offense, and then coming in the trenches on defense. And he's a pass rush defensive end, get upfield, get to the quarterback in a hurry. Gobin's more of an interior defensive lineman with the ability to move outside. So right now, depending on what you're going against, might be who you see.
Let's talk a little bit about your linebackers. You got some youth back there, but pretty solid, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. You start with, get Gavin back from the ACL injury last year. He's the leader there. He's the leader of those guys. He's the one that they can turn to when, what am I supposed to do in this situation? He has the answers. And with T-Bone's ability to play sideline to sideline, we were able to put Gavin as our strong side linebacker, put him on the side, that the offense is set up to run to, and putting Gavin right in the heart of every play. And it allows him to be free and have less responsibility and go get the ball, So that improves our linebacking core tremendously. T-Bone, like I said, he's sideline to sideline, plays with the passion and enthusiasm in all 3 sports that he plays, but especially on the football field where it's okay to act a little wild and run around and have fun. He's that guy that lets loose. He's a vocal leader on our defense just because he's not afraid to speak. And then on the backside at Willie, you have Braxton Winters, who also filled in last year, when our linebacking core got depleted, and stepped in and did nice. He's an athletic, thick kid that moves well. He reads well, and when his feet are moving, he can get there. So sometimes you'll see him get stuck and see man and maybe see something slow, but when he sees it, he goes and flies around just like the rest of those guys. Caden McAllister's a former linebacker. He's a little bit smaller, but we've moved him to more of a hybrid strong safety.
Right.
And he's flying around on top of the defense, also comes down in the box and makes plays in the backfield as well. So having all those guys that can play linebacker is huge. You talk about young guys on the offensive line. We have some young guys stepping up at linebacker as well, and Coleman Stone and Maddox Carlson both stepping in as freshmen and showing that they're not afraid to come in, get in the box, and put their nose in it.
Yeah.
So.
And then in the secondary, your receivers are back there, the skilled players.
Yeah.
Just move them in and out, platoon them a little bit.
And that's at all 3 of our secondary positions we can go 2 deep, and that's good. So we can be fresh throughout. We could put 2 legit starting caliber.
Mitchell Joyce is probably the one that's not a receiver too much.
Mitchell Joyce and Hunter Jones. Hunter Jones is he's our rocket. That's a strong safety as well. Those 2 guys are they're in the box. They play in the box, but you see them out in coverage a lot as well. They're both guys that they're where they're supposed to be, and they make a lot of plays because of that. You'll see Mitchell. He'll move over and play whip as well. There's some things that we can shuffle some guys around. You see them on both sides, but they're both sound players, and they make good decisions. So
your true secondary guys, you got Lamey and
Nesbitt, free safety, interchangeable back there. They both cover well. Moving McAllister out to that whip position, we were able to take Lamey out of it and put it on top of the defense, and he's a guy that's an eraser.
Then you got Riley and Alexander on the corner.
Yeah, Riley and X-Man starting out wide. They're both guys. You see in the scrimmage. X gets caught up in the backfield. He likes to come downhill. He likes to play in the run. He wants to come down and make those tackles. So he gets caught in the backfield sometimes. But he's a person that he learns from his mistakes. And pass coverage, he's talented as well. He's just aggressive. So you see things like that happen sometimes, get caught up. But he's a big play guy, and I'm telling you, he'll come up and he'll make tackles. You'll see him fly up. And same with Peyton. Peyton's a dog. He's got that mentality where he just wants to make plays, and guys like that you can be successful with.
This is a team, and I've said it before. We haven't had this kind of talent on one team since 2008. And I don't know that man for man we may be a little more skilled, maybe a little more talented than even that 2018 that went state quarterfinals.
Man, I can't speak on that. I know those guys.
Excuse me, state semi.
I coached some of them that my first year back out of college that next year, but I didn't see that team 2018 play at all, so I'm not going to speak on it. Especially, I don't want to have to go back and answer to Coach Courtney for anything I say about his team. So
Coach Courtney was quite a component on that team.
Yeah. But what I do know is we are deep, we are talented, and when we come to play, we're a pretty good football team.
And we're going to be ready to play Friday night. Might be a little bit of a wet track out there. There's a little rain going on this week.
That's okay. We welcome that.
I don't think it's going to affect this team.
No, not at all. Not at all. We have something for everything. We're prepared.
Well, Coach, thanks for coming and doing the Coaches Show. We're looking forward to this. Bear with us. This is a work in progress, but we think it's going to be fun. And speaking of fun, we're going to go right now to Brock Langston. We're really going to break it down and have some real fun with Brock. In fact, we may have to bring him on later in the year again because Brock's a hoot.
He's a character.
Coach, good luck this week.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right. Hey, we're glad to have Brock Langston with us today, a special guest. Brock is the all-conference center for the Rockets, and he's also probably one of the most unique characters on the team. He's always very excitable and always a team leader. And Brock, you're the guy, the heart and soul of this team sometimes, aren't you? I mean, do you feel like you carry that?
I feel like I have a big role on the team as more of the hype man and as a talker, if you can't tell on Friday nights. I lead the offensive line, which is a big part of the whole team, which we got to get them going for Hunter, and Ethan Dawson to do them. So I feel like I'm one of them. But
what's it like to be the guy right in the center of the offense with these famous guys, Hunter Boone and Ethan Dawson, are getting a lot of pub around here now? Do you feel like these linemen maybe need to get a little love too?
I feel like we don't get enough recognition, but I promise you, it's really hard. If I mess up, everyone knows it. I mean. It's
no sailing, it's your deal. Right?
Yeah, or if I make the wrong step, I don't feel my gat, and Devin gets hit in the backfield. I promise you, the whole crowd knows.
Yeah, absolutely. Center's an important role for any football team. First guy to handle the ball, you got to get it to the quarterback. You're the trigger man. We want to talk to Brock a little bit about some serious questions, very serious football questions. And Brock, I know people out there want to know about this football team and what kind of people they are. So I'm going to get right to the locker room first, okay? So I want you to tell me which guy is most likely to have the dirty clothes, smelly clothes in his locker.
That's actually probably me. I mean, no joke. I'm a big guy, so I'm going through 3 shirts at practice. I mean, you got one right before practice, you already sweating before, you got practice, that's another shirt, and I got another one right after I take a shower, so it's probably me.
So you're the dirty locker room guy, okay?
Probably.
All right, now who's the guy, every team has it, the guy who sings in the locker room shower?
Mitchell Joyce.
Tweeter is his nickname.
He is a character.
So Mitchell is the singer,
Yeah,
huh?
Twitter's a singer.
All right, now here's a tough one. If you had a daughter, Brock, if you had a daughter, which guy on this football team would you let your daughter go out with? Or would you want your daughter to go out with?
It's kind of hard. I got 2 guys. It'd either be Hunter Boone or Peyton Riley. Both of them, I love them to death. They both are well-respected people. So
squared away guys.
Yeah, love both of them. So I don't know. That's a hard one, but.
Which one would you be least likely? No, we won't even go there. We won't even go there. The least likely. But hey, who's the guy when you guys are out together? Who's the guy that's going to pick up the tab at lunch?
Well, after I've played a couple well games, Devin Nesbitt paid for my lunch a lot last year, so he's more the guy too. I mean, Hunter's offered before too, so I think we're all well around. I mean, we'll pay for each other if we need it. So.
All right, well, that's some interesting information about the Rocket football guys. Hey, good luck this season, Brock. I know you guys are looking forward to this season opener against Stewart County, and that's a team we kind of handed it to down there last year, maybe snuck up on a little bit. So what do you think this year? Do you think they'll be more prepared for us?
I mean, I'm hoping they're well prepared because we're coming after them, and we're looking for a state championship this year, so we're coming for it all.
Yeah, the Crittenden County is ranked number 7 in some polls. That's the highest I've seen. We're 14 in some. Where do you think we belong?
Number one.
Number one.
I believe we deserve number one. We don't get the credit we deserve, but we're going to prove it to them in these 10 games. So
All right.
we're making a run.
Scoot over, Beechwood. Here comes Brock and his boys.